Hello and welcome back to the channel. All right, so here's the deal. Once again, we start off the next episode not in the same spot we left off in the last one because this encounter is no joke. The difficulty of the encounter by itself, where they increase the damage, the hit points, their AC, their THAC0, all the stuff that I don't like when games make a game quote unquote hard. It's like a phony difficulty increase. And then you add the difficulty increase that I like, that we all know and love through SCS, giving them genuine uh, intelligence where they have full access to all of their spells, they have full access to their high level abilities, and they use them wisely. And then the targeting the appropriate people instead of just who's closest, things of that nature, and then giving the chosen of Cyric the weapons that they have, that the death and the miscast magic, the fire damage, the lightning damage, because fire and lightning damage will go through stone skins. They will swap to normal weapons when they see you have protection from magical weapons. They will dispel you before the fight starts. They get all their pre-buffs, and they have all their sequencers, chain contingencies. They have 3 people that can go invisible and backstab. And I have done probably 12 different attempts. And I wanted to actually do the fight because I want the items that they have. I don't remember. I didn't remember what items they have. So I wanted to avoid the option of talking my way out of fighting them. So what I decided to do was, this was the safe spot where I'm like, I need to figure out this fight and I need to figure out how I'm going to do it and cross my fingers for a lot of luck. But it was genuinely frustrating. Like, typically if I get frustrated with the game, it's in the spirit of the game. I get angry at the NPCs that piss me off. I get mildly frustrated at a difficult fight, or we have a stupid death or whatever. That's all in-game stuff. But this fight genuinely began to make me not want to play this game at all. Like, a genuine, not good-natured nerd rage kind of thing. I don't know how to really explain it, because like, I have been irritated and frustrated and kind of slightly mad in some spots throughout Baldur's Gate 1, Siege Dragonspear, and Baldur's Gate 2. But this one genuinely was starting to make me angry, to where I'm not having fun despite being frustrated. But so I just kept doing the fight, and finally I managed to get a strategy down that worked, and it's with this setup that I've got. So I had to change some spells. I put some different items
What
on
is it
people.
now?
I gave Animan the Amulet of Power so he can get his greater divine protection off quicker.
How can I help?
Nalia has the triple Abidazim's Horde Wilting combo. Our spell triggers and spell sequencers that we have set up on our ladies are protections, because as I said, we start off the fight getting dispelled, taking a little bit of damage, we're trapped. The assassins, they get a metric ton of invisibility potions. And Venduris, I kept calling him Veldrin, whatever. He is completely immune to being seen. He's got a poisonous attack that was dealing 400 damage. So ridiculous. But we were getting backstabbed between anywhere from like 80 damage to like 400. I think at one point I got hit for 438, something crazy like that, and everywhere in between. So here's what I ultimately decided to do. This is going to be the diplomatic video where we talk our way out of fighting the Chosen of Cyric, and in the next episode will be the fight. Because when you die in the Chosen of Cyric fight, the only slight mercy that the encounter gives you is it creates an automatic save file to where it jumps just right into the fight, and you get to just do it until you get lucky enough to win. Oh, yeah, it's crazy because if you put stone skins up, because you want protections, so you put stone skins up. Well, if you put stone skins up, Venduris is going, or Velduris, whatever his name is, I keep getting it wrong. They will adjust accordingly. So they'll use weapons that will deal magical damage. That poison, that like death attack that he has was one shotting me. So I swapped over to protection for magical weapons. And when you protection for magical weapons, they swap to regular weapons and then backstab you for 100 plus. So that's why we have the sequencers. Unfortunately, Emwyn does not have, as of this moment, protection for magical weapons. When this encounter is done, she will have it because I dropped the scroll. Spoiler. But this didn't feel good because I had to really mix this up. I had to record the next episode before this one after I got the fight done. And this did not feel good. I did not enjoy this. So I've rambled on for about close to 7 minutes now. So this episode, we're going to just get down there. I'll read all the dialogue, and we'll do the diplomatic approach this episode, and the next episode will be the fight. And then we will continue on from the episode where we fought, won, and got the items. Here we go.
Fine. You have been waylaid by enemies and must defend yourself.
So what have you to report? The wards were placed exactly as you had requested. Several snares were set as backups as well. Excellent. Now we must wait for the others. You there. What are you doing out of the gates at this hour? Huh. I'll let our leader explain that. He should be arriving as we speak. Huh? I don't see anyone. And I have no patience for unnecessary delays. Master, the ball spawn is approaching. Finally. Everyone get into position and prepare yourselves. Cloaked man is gesturing toward you while reading from a scroll. And there's our dispel and damage that happens. You feel a surge of arcane energies around you. Here's where we get locked in. It appears that the entire area has been sealed off by a magical barrier.
Is there something you seek?
Excuse me. Getting late. You see before you a party of 6 companions, evidently aligned in a combat formation and prepared for battle. It strikes you as peculiar that most of their clothes are tinted black and dark purple, occasionally trimmed with silver lines, while their armor is adorned with the symbol of a white, jawless skull drawn over a black sunburst. The man standing up front appears to be their leader. His entire body is enveloped with a large black cloak with overshadows which overshadows most of his features. Only the palms of his hands and the lower portion of his face remain visible to you. Although his eyes are hidden from your view, you sense that he is peering at you intently from under the long hood. The unobscured part of his face looks cold and collected, failing to give away any notable emotion. After a moment of silence, he steps forward and addresses you in a low, firm tone. Greetings, Thalic. The rogue notices the half-surprised expression forming on your face after you heard him utter your name so casually. Before you start wondering how I discerned your identity, I should let you know that I am, in fact, quite familiar with both your history and your lineage. Though I remain somewhat intrigued, do you have any idea who stands before you now, Ballspawn? I recognize the markings on your armor, rogue. The white skull and the dark sun are both symbols of the Prince of Lies, your followers of Cyric. Huh. So the reports were true. You do indeed have some wit about you. A faint half sneer forms on his face. Though the will of the Prince of Lies truly guides our path, rest assured, Ballspawn, we are no mere followers of Cyric. The rogue's voice drops to a more menacing tone. Know that we belong to the order of his chosen. You belong to Cyric's chosen? Then I suppose your fanatical order has somehow found out about my divine heritage, and you still hope to bring Cyric closer to his ascension by ritually sacrificing all of Baal's children. Am I right? The man slowly raises his head and his eyes flicker over you. His gaze falls on you with the force of a sledgehammer. Know that there is a growing conflict of interest between us, Ballspawn. By observing and carefully studying your actions over a lengthy time period, we've come to the only possible conclusion. It is now more than evident that it is now more than evident to us that you are developing into a significant threat for our Lord and Master. With a faint swishing sound of the rogue's cloak splits, and an ominous-looking blade springs into his hand. I am Vidurus, and as the highest-ranking assassin within our order, it is my sacred duty to make sure that this does not occur, by any means necessary. He's preparing to attack. Hold your weapons, Venduris. I would like to ask some questions first. Perhaps a battle between us is unnecessary. Venduris pauses, considering your words for a moment. Very well, I can indulge that request, Alec. But you had better not strain my patience too far. He tightens the grip on his sword menacingly. You may speak to me, but do so and choose your words wisely. You said that I was becoming a problem for Cyric. Could you elaborate on this further? That should be obvious. It gives you a long contemplating look. Perhaps you still fail to realize this, but you, Thalic, are the most powerful ballspawn that has ever walked the Sword Coast. By this mere fact, you present a significant threat to our Lord's position. You carry a touch of the divine inside you, and chances are that you will desire more in the future. Our Lord may be prevented from interfering directly in this matter. But as long as we are here of our own free will, nothing can deny us the pleasure of killing you. Wait, you mean that you're acting here without direct orders from Cyric? You're doing this on your own? Vendurus's eyes narrow for a moment, and then he gives you a resentful glare. But his face soon resumes its usual emotionless expression. We're indeed acting of our own accord, but that is of no consequence. Once we dispose of you, our Lord will certainly acknowledge the deed and reward us accordingly. Make a mental note of what was just said. Let me ask you something else then. Vendurus pauses, considering your words for a moment. Very well, okay, he's going to indulge us again. I'm curious, how come you know so much about me? It has always been common practice of our order to observe an enemy over a lengthy period of time before acting. We firmly believe that information is the key to true power. That's wise. That's very wise. We know how you act, how you fight, and how you judge. We are aware of your every detail, no matter how insignificant it may seem. Your alignment, your goals, your strengths, and your weaknesses are all known to us, while you remain completely oblivious to our own plans. As you can see, we are at a clear advantage here. Huh. If you and your order have been spying on me for so long, how come I never noticed any of you? You take my party for some amateurish band of pickpockets? Vendurus pierces you with a reproachable gaze. In truth, the people you are facing now rank among the most capable members of our order. Furthermore, a number of our agents, placed within most of the major cities of the SoA Coast, are constantly obtaining vital information and insight about all who would oppose us, including yourself. They are highly adept at the art of subterfuge and have many ways of acting unseen. So you see, it's truly no wonder that you, as most of our other victims, have never discovered our presence, let alone our plans. But why do you attack me now, and not before? Surely you had plenty of opportunities to do so in the past. Unlike Cerevox, your own motives were still unclear to us at the time you left Baldur's Gate. So we decided to lay low, gather the necessary information, and wait until a suitable chance for our action about it. But when that half-crazed sorcerer interfered, we almost lost track of it. Luckily, a few of our informants within the city noticed when you embarked on a voyage to the Spellhold Asylum. After that, it was only a matter of time until we caught up with your trial. Until we caught up with your trail. So when did you start following? Our order first took notice of you sometime after you had slain two of our valuable members who were operating near the city of Baldur's Gate. Two priests of Cyric that you killed back then, Molahay and Basilis. Yeah? I remember. Anyway, the two priests of Cyric that you killed back then, Molahay and Basilis, were our agents, and their murders served as a triggering point for our current actions against you. They've been stalking us all this time, huh? Huh. Now that I think about it, that strange halfling does look kind of familiar. I think I've seen him sneaking around the Gully Kid before. We followed your activities until the final standoff with your half-brother Cerevox, who was also being carefully monitored at that time. The order wisely decided to let you slaughter each other so that we could easily take care of the weakened survivor. I see. Let me ask you something else then. If you've been studying me so closely as you claim, then by now you should be aware that I, as a paladin, have always stood as a power of light and righteousness. I have no reason or desire to succumb to the evil taint in my blood. I only wish to retrieve my stolen soul. Venduris ponders over your words for an instant, but his face remains an undecipherable riddle to you. Indeed, what you say is true, but in my line of work, I have often seen a good man fall in the reach of great power, unscrupulously betray his former life and beliefs. You would not be the first nor the last to make that choice. My deeds speak for me, Venduris. If you're so familiar with my life, then you're surely aware of my accomplishments. I've never betrayed trust. I have always strived to help help the ones in need. I think about it. Are those traits of a man who desires the power of Cyric and Ball? Venduris looks like he is about to reply, but instead, he pauses again, reflecting. After a moment of thought, he looks up to you again, but his gaze is different. The malice has disappeared from his eyes, and you even think that you could trace a bit of respect in his new demeanor. You are right, Thalic. The arguments you displayed are solid, and I should have not doubted your path. In fact, now that I am certain you have no plans to usurp my lord's rulership, I'm willing to let you live. Do not mistake this charity, though. I assure you it is purely an act of self-interest. I thought as much, but what exactly are you implying? You'll soon find out on your own, Thalic. For now, I shall say only this much. You were by far not the only contender for your father's throne. And now that I have assured myself of your allegiance, I can shift my efforts towards others of your kind. Most of them are not as good-natured as you appear to be, and therefore require my immediate attention. However, if I let you live, you will probably dispose of a few of your brethren and save me some effort. Venduris finishes the sentence with a wicked smile. But enough. We shall depart for now and leave you to your destiny. Farewell, Thalic. Hope that we never meet again. He reaches for the ring on his left hand. Venduris slightly twists the ring, and he and his entire party suddenly disappear before your very eyes. Apparently, Venduris and his party have indeed left the area. The warding glyphs have dissipated.
Just like I thought it would.
The way seems to be free now.
And doing good things.
So, we managed to talk our way out of the fight against the Chosen of Cyric. That's the diplomatic approach, I guess. But as I said, I wanted to kill them no matter what. This was going to be an absolute last resort. Oh, so I had to do things out of order. I apologize. Excuse me. I apologize for that. But we will start off immediately into a fight in the next episode, and it's a doozy, man. That fight's crazy. So, thank you very much for watching. I deeply appreciate it. And as always, if you guys have any comments, suggestions, tips, tricks, I would love to hear your guys' stories about your stories and your opinions on the Chosen of Cyric fight. This one, man, this difficulty level of SCS and bumping it up to where we bumped it up to, I don't know if it's because I'm just not good at it, or not, that I'm just not good at the game that made it overly frustrating, but even the more difficult fight, this was crazy. I don't know. But, yeah, let me know. I'd love to hear you guys' opinions and stories on this one, for sure. But hopefully you join me for the next one. And, again, thank you for watching.